Back in 1988, in the days when the beaches in particular were full of stray animals, particularly dogs, wandering up and down looking for food, two people, an English woman and a Spanish man, used to visit there regularly every day to feed the animals and generally look after them. And they met up one day, and although neither of them spoke each other's language, they managed to communicate well enough to express the concern about the number of animals there were, how many dogs were wandering the streets. And they decided they needed to do something about it, in whatever way they could. And so between them they managed to persuade the Estepona Council to allocate them a piece of ground which was next to the abattoir in those days, a smallish piece of land, which they managed to fence off and put some sort of makeshift gate on. And they assembled various pieces of bits of wood, pallets, old kennels that people donated, dog beds and so on, and created an enclosure for the animals. And they got other like-minded people involved who helped them to look after the animals on a day-to-day basis. And the thing grew and grew. People found out they were there. They used to arrive in the morning to find more dogs tied up outside waiting for them to take in. They managed to get enough funds to feed them all. They fed them from pans, old containers. It was very makeshift, but it was a start. And they got someone else involved who is still involved in Adana. She spoke both languages well, and so she was able to interpret between them and get other people involved, and really Adana grew from there. Our big fundraising event, obviously, at the moment is the Camino Project, which is taking place next year. And that, we are very much hoping, is not only going to be a big fundraising event, but is also going to provide us with the means to reach a lot more people in terms of information about the work that we're trying to do, and educating people about the issues of animals and abandoned animals right across Spain. We're hoping that it's very much going to pave the way for a big year for Adana to mark its 20 years in existence, and pave the way for a bright new future for not just Adana but for all of the animals that we care for on a day-to-day basis. So not all of our hopes, but a lot of our hopes for the future are pinned on the project as providing us with a real start for the future, for the next 20 years.
Good, like it. Yeah. Or anything.
Right.
Just talk about subjects.
The kennels, which have got a most fantastic setting, has got a capacity of 110 dogs. We work based on 100. 110 is pushing it a bit, and we are three. We got 2 workers in the morning and 1 worker in the afternoon. We have also got a fantastic set of volunteers who come up all different days, and we're about 2 or 3 volunteers every day. So we are actually about 5 people working with the dogs every day, cleaning and administering medicine and so on. Very often when we come up in the morning, someone has left a dog or they're tied up by the gate. People bring up a dog every day. Sometimes we have a litter of 4 puppies who come up, 5 puppies. So there's always dogs coming in. Why people would like to leave the dogs with us is because we don't put dogs down. But that, of course, is another problem, because our kennel is filling up with the dogs that are not really rehomable. So all the puppies coming in, we've got a lot of puppies, which luckily go very quickly. Then we've got the medium-aged dogs, which are a little bit tricky to find homes for. So a lot of dogs are coming in, but very few are being adopted. So we would like to be able to extend our operations to be able to hold those dogs that are not rehomable. And of course there's a lot of other animals that are being abandoned, small pets that we could also eventually have, and we would like to be able to look after. We do get in cats as well. We have got a very small room 4 cats, so we are limited to the amount of cats we can take, which is really sad because the cat problem is enormous, and we do try to look after as many cats as we can, but we are very limited. Again, our job consists of looking after all these animals that sometimes actually cannot be rehomed, but still need a home to live in and being loved and cared for. So with the future, we're hoping to build our sanctuary to be able to educate, have schools, have corporate organizations to come and do courses in our facilities, be amongst the animals, help us with, so they can see what it is that we're doing for stranded and abandoned animals.
So what we see behind us is the platform where in the future there will be raised different buildings with a 2-story building in the center, and then we have 2 wings which will be kennels for dogs and cats. Around us we still have a plot of approximately 10,000 square meters of land, and this land will be accessible in the future for families living in this area to visit on the weekends animals and to becoming familiar with the association and having a good time staying in the countryside and having close contact to animals which are at present abandoned, but hopefully then find a new home and new owners. The concept of the building itself as such is that we have a center building, a 2-story building for administration and facilities and veterinary installation. And then apart from this we do have 2 side wings with shelter and fenced off areas for approximately 120 dogs. Those dogs, apart from being kept in the shelters and having let's say an exterior area to each shelter, they have a possibility to stay during the daytime in external areas which are fenced off, so that they have more space and facilities to move and to play and to run. The funding for this project is a concept that people who like to support this project, they can buy leaves in different colors, and by buying these leaves they give a certain amount of money to Adana to support this project. It's going to be a decorative item in front of the main building. There's going to be a tree, and on this tree you're going to find the leaves with the 3 different colors, which is green, silver and gold, and each leaf then, according to the color, costs a certain amount of money, and this money goes into the funds to support this project.
There are 3 objectives. The first objective being to raise awareness of the very real cruelty that exists in the world to animals of every type, whether it's horses, snakes, dogs and cats. It happens worldwide. So raising awareness of cruelty is the very first objective. The second is to educate people into the care and compassion that you need to improve the quality of life for the animals who are suffering. El Camino is a project that's designed to raise awareness of cruelty, to bring to people the care and compassion that they need. And thirdly, and really just as importantly as the others, is to raise funds to make those 2 things happen, because like it or not, in the real world, it's money that talks.
The 15 dogs taking part in this mammoth walk are all residents of Adana. They are walking for their friends and for all the dogs who are in need of help and things throughout the entire world.